Hello everyone and welcome to Krozzfyre Casts. I am Krozzfyre, this is a cast, hence Krozzfyre Casts. Today it is Tuesday, making it 2v2 Tuesday, and what way to kick this off better than a nice little matchup on Rhzev. This was a replay that I found on gamereplays, quoting that it was a good match. So we shall see. We've got Thunderhun, who actually submitted the replay, and I'll be doing a lot of following of. Starting off as Austere now, down with the his combat engineers, going straight out with the Russians on Austeres. What am I talking about? He's going to go for conscripts early on. His PIC, his partner in crime, is going to be Stormless. Let's have a quick switch over to him, as we see that he's going very similar. He's getting conscripts out early as well. I've had a quick look at these guys' commanders. We see that this is the interesting one they've got in there, the NKVD Rifle Disruption Tactics. Now, this is not great in a 1v1, but the thing that intrigues me is the radio intercept. It does give you quite an advantage, knowing what your opponent is getting, has got, etc. So I wonder if I'll be able to see the messages he gets with radio intercept if he decides to go that doctrine. But other than that, he also has hit the dirt and the guard motor for the 120mm mortar. Switch quickly back across onto Thunderhun. I'll turn the fog of war off for now as well. We see he's got a similar package. He's got the guard rifles with Hit the Dirt. He's got the shock troops and the ISC 152 call-in, and he's also got the 120mm mortar off-map call-in as well if he requires that. We see he's gone up to secure this field early. He decides he doesn't need the VP as much as he wants the fuel, so he decides to stop capping that and move across into the field. And meanwhile, we see his ally is going to go straight for this field as well. So they decided to ignore the middle for now and decide to try and impose their will on both fields, which is difficult in 2v2 because your armies are so far apart that you've got no chance of helping each other out. So if you discover that there's a massive overwhelming force of two guys in one of these fields, then he's in trouble. But he's able to get his pioneers in there, which is happy days. So he's going to deny this MG. He actually takes out one of the members already. And a nice charge as well from the conscripts, taking advantage of these weak pioneers. The MG is going to position himself on the field and start capping up as well as getting green cover. And on the top side we see as well the pioneers are going to get into this MG. So this MG was probably just selected to go down here and set up somewhere down here until he encountered these pioneers. The common engineers. But he's set up now, he's out of the line of sight, so he's safe from that MG. If we turn our attentions back down onto this bottom section now as well. So these guys aren't quite in the cover. But they're not in the red cover either, so they're not doing great, they're not doing bad. These guys are just weathering the storm, Stormless, from the MG, firing them in position. But now we've got a big rush, big push should I say, from the austere players, who I shall introduce right now. On this side we've got Sigsieth with his MG taking, dealing some nice damage to those conscripts, getting 2 kills off of them for no damage done in return, and he's going to be able to secure down this top fuel nice and easy. And they have got this top one at the moment. Dangerously low conscript squad there from Stormless, but he has got the flank on this MG. This MG is probably going to go down to this common engineer fire alone, unless he can deflect it with this, which he does do, and he managed to take down 2 squads there. Very great play by this tpovis, so it's a way to introduce him, tpovis2001. Excellent play. He risked it for a biscuit and kept his MG in there. He's going to get that out right now so he can go back and heal up, but he's got Veterancy 1. He is going to be happy. It doesn't matter now if he loses these buildings to any of the conscripts or the engineers, because he can use his fire and incendiary ability to quickly and efficiently wipe them out. A mortar up now in the middle as well. He's not quite in the position he needed to be. He wanted to be capping this as well as firing out some mortar shells, but he is cut off from this top fuel at the moment. If I turn the fog of war off real quick, you can see he's just capping away back there. So he's probably going to meet the mortar shell or 2 if he's lucky or unlucky, depending on your outtake life and who you really fancy in this game. But he is cut off here. See, so this fuel is no longer, because the fuel is flashing on this bottom minimap, he's no longer receiving any benefit from having this point. It's no longer connected to his base. And he very quickly needs to take this point back as soon as he can. So that's interesting. Oh, I should probably look at the commanders as well. For the commanders then we have the Jaeger armor, so he's got the elephant call-in as well as the spotting scope, which is huge. Assault support, so he's got the Opel trucks and strafing run on the Tiger tank, as well as the joint operations, so he's got the plenty of artillery there if he wants to turn this map into Shelt. If any of you players out there who played Company Hero, didn't play Company Heroes 1, excuse me, the Shelt was a map which was basically it was very small channels into an island, and it was very heavily focused on artillery. Company Heroes 1, artillery is kind of frowned upon. It's making more of a comeback in Company Heroes 2, but I should get back to the action because we see that this cap has been taken as well as the decap now. Sorry, the cap actually for the cutoff. This fuel is still not doing anything, and this point has been cut off as well. Very nice play by the Russians there to recognize where all of the cutoffs are. Swapping over back now to Thunderhun, and I'm probably going to stay on him. It's focused with him for a little while now because it's difficult to keep on top of everyone. 4 conscripts out at the moment, and he's also got his engineers flamed up. And here comes his ride with a cool paint job. So all of his friends would be like, "Yo, dog, your ride is so pimp." And he'd be like, "Yeah, man, I got like chrome wheels, even though this is World War II." Anyway, conscripts are now going to engage with these unfortunate grenadiers who are moving away. They really wanted to cap this point. He wasn't quite sure whether they wanted to engage one or not. And you need to sort of set down that LMG in order for it to start taking advantage. So he's back there now. He's not going to take as much damage from the conscripts. Conscripts do lose accuracy the further away they are from an opponent, but at the moment the low health for them is really detrimental because they are losing this engagement. He shouldn't have really charged in here. I mean, he does force them off and away from their position, but he was winning that engagement as he was there. He could have continued doing that, but he's now being pushed around by this scout car who forces on the retreat on them, and there's no backup anywhere near. But I mean, he was a very forward aggressive unit, did his job. He denied the fuel, because the Soviets have not had the fuel very long at all in this game. He sends his clown car right up into the face of the Grenadiers. Grenadiers should turn and throw a Panzerfaust in his face, and there he goes. You see this model grabbing it off his back. Pow! So it's popped in the face, damages his engine. But he's got to go there because he knew the flame engineers were just going to be able to push him off as well as the combined fire. Oh, this is unfortunate. I think this is from his own mortar, is it? Nope, there's a mortar up here. Beg your pardon. Meanwhile, these conscripts now, who do have the upgrade for the 18-8s, are going to try and chase down this half-track who doesn't have anyone inside of him just yet. But he's going to try and get an 18-8 off, because as soon as he does that, he knows that it's going to be less of a threat. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite pull it. Oh, yes, he's got it now. There it goes. 18-8 automatically finds his target. Ideally now, he's just going to either want to guess. He's jumped into green cover, which is nice, but I mean, he's got a lot of anti-infantry damage coming in against him. A nice Molotov, doesn't do a great amount of damage, but it causes him to reposition, which is always worth it. We do see a lot of his forces are swept up, so okay, so that went down to small fire up there, and he's caused a retreat from his engineers. These guys are going to have to get out, which they do. He recognizes that, and he runs away, especially now as there's a mortar firing on him. And this is the difficult situation I was talking about, because they've decided to split their armies on 2 polar opposites of this rather large map. It's very difficult for them to combine their forces without spending a lot of time re-maneuvering and repositioning their units. So these guys just setting up mines. It's a good job he did there. I don't know if you noticed that. The mines were building and half built, but because they were spotted by that MG, he just quickly cancelled the build, which meant that he was refunding the munitions, and it doesn't just sort of sit there half built for the rest of the game. Okay, so the map has been split in a horizontal manner, so it's a very wide, very long battlefront, which doesn't actually favour the Soviets that much. However, these conscripts are charging on into their inevitable doom, as they just wanted to lob this, as the whole purpose in life is to throw that Molotov, and, you know, not worth it. It didn't do enough damage, so he charged on foolishly there. Should have waited for backup, possibly, or for his own troops to arrive, but I mean, running headlong into that is always going to end bad. So the Ost here have got an advantage now. They're pushing forward nicely. They've had this own fuel. They've had the fuel for a long time. They had this fuel for quite a while as well. They are in control of the cutoff as well as the VP, but this mortar is coming down, dealing a bit of damage. A bit of a push up here now. Grenadier is going to face up against the conscripts, but they're being backed up by these 2 Grenadiers. Luckily, he's got his half-track nearby, so we can start to reinforce. I hope he does, because this is quite risky running those 2 very low health guys. If he turned his attention and focused on that squad there, he might have had a bit more success. We see another big push now in this. You've got Panzer Grenadiers out, as well as 2 upgraded Grenadiers with the LMG. He throws a Molotov, a nice Molotov doing a bit of damage. I'm sure he's going to throw, yes, there it goes, the 18-8 there as well. The flamed up engineer is going to try and come in and help out against this massive infantry push, as well as these conscripts running in to get inside. He's trying to cap up this point here, but unfortunately running into the face of an MG. Another 18-8 goes off in this half-track. It's not a bad idea, because he could go down to small arms fight quite easily. I'll turn my focus there. There he does. Turn the focus right into the Panzer Grenadier. Panzer Grenadier is very low. He's not able to get off the lucky shot and then to finish off the squad, but does a nice bit of damage. Very worth it there. Rifle nade goes off, well recognized, and moves the conscripts out of the way, but unfortunately moves them into the way as the second rifle nade goes through. And this Grenadier squad very long does go down to the Flamer. No, it doesn't go down to the Flamer. Wow! That was, what? And then the engineers, the Flamer engineers went down, so it was an extremely lucky play there from Sigsieth, but I mean, wow, that was brutal. And this conscript squad is probably going to go down as well. He wanted to get that last 18 unit off to try and do enough damage to get it down, but he does get version 2s for his problems. And there's a sniper out now. The sniper out is going to be doing, ooh, not much against that LMG, mate. You didn't want to be right there. That's 90 manpower now to reinforce that guy. It takes a lot longer for him to reinforce as well than other units. So you're really going to have to make him work hard now in this mid-late game to make him worth it. And this point is now going down with the Austere, so they have a foothold onto this side of the island. Or another foothold, really. They already have this and the main middle point. And they've got this now, so he's right outside the base of, well, the base is almost right in the face of the Soviets, which is nice to see. You don't really see that much. It's usually the way around, especially on the early game. But there we go. So this conscript squad is now feeling out and lonely. We can see that he's actually gone for one of the hit the dirt doctrines. We're not going to see the NKVD rifle, disruption rifle tactics coming out. But we can tell like he's got the PPSH in there. As of yet, Thunderhun has not picked his commander, which is kind of smart. I mean, he doesn't know what he wants to counter for the mid to late game just yet. He hasn't seen any of the heavy duty units. He hasn't seen any spam, so he's keeping it sort of himself open for now. He does take down this mortar, which is going to be nice. Nice. We see upgun Panzer Grenadiers, which is baffling, as there's not been really any vehicles. He took down the scout car earlier on. No vehicles. This is a bit of a waste from tpovis2001. And unfortunately, he couldn't grab that mortar without getting pinned by this squad here. So now we see double conscripts who don't have hit the dirt going up against these Grenadiers who are able to reinforce away from this half track, and the 18 nade goes down, disabling that engine. Nicely played. This Grenadier squad does go down. Or did he get in the vehicle? Nope, it went down, and a barrage coming in now from his ally on that Zis gun, which forced away the troops. What I'd like to see him down now is cancel the barrage and just focus fire on it. Because if he just gets one shot off on that, that guy's going to go down. Hopefully he's going to stop hitting his own troops, or his own mate troops. No, unfortunately he didn't. So like I say, if he just right-clicked, he could have cancelled that barrage, picked off that one last shot and finished off the guy. Unfortunately now he's going to find some trouble. These Panzer Grenadiers are going to have to start running away, wheeling away that beastie of a gun. And yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get out of there easy enough. He's coming with his conscripts to try and back it up. And as these Panzer Grenadiers do have two Shreks, you can see them on them, looking them down the scopes now. They're then for half of the efficiency that they did have as an anti-infantry unit. Now they're enjoying green cover, and these guys are enjoying red, but unfortunately they're pinned. There's a sniper about as well, which I can hear. Happy days. He's now got 5 kills, and that's bad boy. The conscripts are now trying to defend this point, which unfortunately Sigsieth isn't quite in the point. If he was in the point, he could have stopped that cap going down. But he's going to take that minor victory and leg it. Which is rightly so, because he was up against a lot of infantry there for one conscript squad alone. Breathe. Okay. So this fuel has now belonged in the hands of the Soviets for a period, which is nice. It's given them a bit of an even fuel income. We can see that there's quite a large bang for Stormless. Oh, he has built his tier 4, or is building his tier 4, should I say. So he's probably got enough for an SR-85 as soon as that pops out. So those Panzer Grenadiers and Shreks are going to be useful then. Sniper getting some free kills on this MG, which is nice. Hopefully they can dislodge that guy and go take the victory point for themselves. Nice big push here though, big infantry push coming up against the machine gun in the house. I'd like to see a bit more of a flank if you can pull it up. But there we go again, an 18 nade just takes out a building on one of the first 18 nades, rifle nades. So that roll of the dice went the other way for that guy, and he's not going to be happy about that. This overwhelming numbers are now going to push in and take out the priority target, which would be the engineers. This AT gun has now turned to face the half track. Hopefully if he focused fired, he could have taken a couple of shots on it and done some damage, but unfortunately now I think it might be too late. But he just charges right to the front of it, takes a side shot for his bad micro there, but now he's on the other side of it and it's not being microed. It's going to eat the bundle of nades. It's going to go down eventually. We see this sniper up here, this cheeky sniper is coming around the back, which is nice, as well as the major conscript backup from Thunderhun. So some Molotovs across here would be quite nice. He can get an 18 nade on from there as well if he'd like. The sniper is picking away, getting some kills, which is nice. And over here, he's still having trouble with this one MG. This one MG's been sat there, which has been denying him the whole top until some vehicles can arrive. Now, Stormless has a T-34 out, which is nice because they do complement the S-285s very well, especially when you come across a very expensive tank. You can just ram it, and then the S-285 can pick up the pieces. But the P4 is out in the field, which means that this T-34 is going to have some problems quite soon. So whether we'll try and see him micro away or try to see a desperation ram, we will find out very shortly. But T-34 nicely micros around, so he doesn't have the line of sight on the P4 doesn't have the line of sight on him. He does take a cheeky side shot there, and now he's revealing his back armor, but he does miss that shot, which is quite lucky. Here the sniper's in a bit of trouble up here. The sniper is still picking away, but there's quite a large force coming in. He needs to move through. He decides to go for the ram, and interesting enough, Thunderhun's actually going to go for... No, there you go. He just cancelled it there. He was building a Katyusha's rocket, which would be nice against all of these bundled up troops, but he needs the Su-85 more to deal with this armor, especially as this T-34 will be going down. And nice mortar coming in though, setting that guy on fire, making him run around like he'd just been told that his lottery ticket was not actually the winner, and it was the cruel result of a prank. So he got rather miffed about that. But now there's a bit of stalemate here between these two tanks. Neither are able to fire on each other as they're both disabled from the ram ability. So we'll see if the Su-85 can come and make it in time, and if another vehicle from the Austere will come and finish off this T-34 for good. Mortar strikes coming in. They're not doing a huge job for himself because he's actually damaging it. And the Austrian comes. The Austrian will easily be able to take out this, and all of the infantry surrounding it try and protect this. It's a great play by tpovis, recognizing that the Su-85 was missing from the field at that moment in time. But now the Su-85 is out, and he's been 18-aided. This Austrian needs to back out now. He's made his entrance. He's done what he came here to do. He needs to get out and needs to repair this P4 as soon as humanly possible. But instead he does take down this, which is kind of nice. She's got 200 manpower out of it at least, but unfortunately these shots hurt. These shots hurt a lot. Like, one more shot, if he can get one more shot off, then he's going to be able to take out that Austrian. He will eat the Panzerfaust. Oh, destroyed engine. Needs one more shot again. Then Veterancy 3 now for these Grenadiers. The 16-minute mark, that's quite good. In fact, I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah. Austrian goes down. Su-85 remains supreme, but look at this territory. I mean, they're holding on to 2 points desperately here, and I'm sure if he really wanted to, he could move this MG that's been protecting this 1 point up just to take this extra point as well, as there's no people going for there. As it's kind of tunnel vision. Both players are sending both of their armies to the same point, so it's really good. We're seeing a lot of action, a lot of various action. This P4 in trouble now. He could eat another shot from the Su-85. He does, and he goes down, which means this P4 is more vulnerable as he is up against a vetted up Su-85. And he's at quite a long distance, so he's unable to just come in and just randomly get a nice flank off in the Su-85, especially with all these conscripts about who can throw grenades. But other conscripts are losing, so it's the supreme firepower of the LMGs, as well as the setup MG42, who's going to pin some of these guys. Su-85 is trying to get some shots off, but against Veterancy 3, it's difficult to get some kills. He's trying desperately to repair it, but it's not the right time. Here comes an airstrike coming in. I mean, what we're going to see, we can see a strafing run. See a bombing run. Yeah, it's going to be the strafing run. Okay, so we know that one of the players has gotten the Opel Commander. A lot of people have issues with the strafing run. I hate it. Everyone hates it, but it's an element in the game which is not going to be changed. Ooh, this conscious is very low now. He's going to have to get out of there. Took a nice shot. I believe it's from one of the mortars. Could have been from the P4. But anyway, the strafing run exists, guys. You have to sort of just deal with it. Man, I haven't deal with it for now. Oh, more troops going down. Until it is fixed or at least amended, there's nothing you can do about it, guys. You can't like petition to have a ban on all players using strafe run. It's going to be in the game. It might be amended, but it's going to remain in the game. So, troubling times for the Russians. I mean, they're now triple capped. They're struggling at 314 points and quickly slipping. I'm going to switch on over to Sigsieth and tpovis to see what commanders they've gone, as we can evidently quickly see that tpovis has gone for the Opel truck commander, giving him the Tiger and that strafing one, which is being annoying, floating around. He's probably going to strafe these guys. If you can get, no, wait, that might be the scouting plane. Look, he's actually just floating around. So that other guy, so excuse me, the strafing one didn't last that long. Usually they last quite some time, sticking around, pinning troops, being a nuisance, but that guy didn't. And we can see that Sigsieth has gone for the... I can't remember the name of this commander, unfortunately, but he's gone for the arty build, essentially. He's got this mortar half-track, which I'd like to see him get, because it is a very great, very useful unit, and very cheap as well, seeing as it's cheaper than a mortar, and it's obviously it costs 40 fuel, but a lot easier to maneuver, can fire on the run as well. Conscripts try and take back their building, and this MG is in the build... Conscripts trying to take back the strategic point, whilst this building is occupied by an MG team. We see the infantry push coming in. does eat a nice Molotov, but he's going to be able to deny this point. He takes those 2 troops, 2 of his highly better troops there to that 1 Molotov. Mortar barrage is coming in from I don't know who. It could be him, it could be the opponent. Another nice infantry push coming up now, so they're really trying to put the pressure on the Soviet player. If they can merge their forces together around about this mark and deny all entry to this entire region of the map, they're going to be pleased with that. But as we can see, the top right up there, sorry, top left, the fuel is going back into the hands of the Soviets, as that area has been denied for some time. He's going to have to move away from this engagement. He's using his relief infantry, so any of his squads that go down, he could replace them with Osttruppen, which, you know, it's a desperation act. I mean, if you're going to lose all of your squads, you don't really want Osttruppen, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. We do see that he's got the left H artillery, which is pounding away at this region now. There's so much concentrated fire, there's so many troops bundled together that it's going to be very effective. He's going to one-hit some squads and do a lot of damage. Now, the left H artillery, as compared to the Soviet artillery, fires a lot faster. I believe it fires 8 shots per round, and the barrage, should I say, sorry, as the Soviet does 12. However, they reload insanely fast, especially if an artillery officer they're supported as well. Su-85 going head-to-head with the P4. P4 is unable to win this fight, and he needs to back out of that soon. We do see some smoke going down, which is not a nice, unfortunately, not a nice heavy bomb drop there. He does manage to shock the cruise. He's able to sneak away out the back, especially the T-34 is going to chime in and really make a decision for him to get out. But another P4 is going to come down and try and support him. Unfortunately, he's turning here. This is bad because he's showing his arse to the Su-85. Very, very low health. What he needed to do there was just to use the reverse gear. Make sure he's using the reverse gear to get out. He's going to not survive this. But then again, the Su-85 might go down as well. I mean, it is double vet, so it does have the additional armor and such. This MG, which has been here all game, is finally being dislodged now. This Molotov is going to take away his health. No, he survives. Does he survive? I would have liked to see him survive. He's been a trooper. There you go. No. Tiniest amount of health possible. He does get him out. So this one P4, this MSP4 does go down. The half track now goes down next to him as well. Su-85 is looking in a strong position. He can't just leave his tank here in a face-on position. So his poor pathing here from Sigsieth. He was unable to, there you go, he's eating another shot. Look, he's not going to be doing any penetration against that frontal arm with the Su-85, or very little he does. So he's going to lose that tank, and he's going to lose his armor supremacy and the fuel advantage that they enjoyed for the first half of this game. This half track is out of position. I don't know what he wants to be doing. He's playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse with T-34, where the T-34 is actually a lion, and he's just a shitty dormouse. So he's probably going to go down very quickly now. But we do see he's secured the top section again. He's got this VP, and he's still got a foothold in this side. They've maintained the munitions point in the middle of the whole entire of the game as well. And they have just got up a fuel point now as well. I'd like to see a couple of more of the strategic points going down, simply because it strategic points. I'm sorry, I'm chatting rubbish. Some more of these OPs going down, because the longer they are, the more benefit you're going to reap from them. Obviously, you don't want to hinder your manpower really, but you're going to boost your income for the rest of the game. As long as you can keep that alive, it's worth it. It's also a deterrent for cheeky backcappers. So if a Pioneer squad came along with no upgrades, you'd be annoyed. So we see Stormless now. I'm going to switch back over to Stormless real quick. He's recognized that this is a high value, easy target. It's immobile, unable to move. So he's going to probably throw a Molotov off in there, I imagine. He's hit the dirt. Now, tpovis has got his Tiger out. What he can do with this Tiger, he can just run over all of these troops. I don't know if you realize that, but the heavy tank can just roll easy enough. And that goes down. He's not able to recruit with that concentrate. He's lost too many men. So he's going to be easy enough to recruit that. T-34 having a poke around, sees his Tiger, and goes, alright, maybe I'm not a lion, I'm just a little pussycat. Thinks, oh shit, he's trying to best get out of there. Tiger could have pursued if he wanted to. But he's going to zoom, you know, he's going to eat the fire. So he's meat now. He's dead meat for the Tiger. The artillery piece now doing a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a twirl, showing off its wheels. That's right, it has wheels. But it has been recruited. But this guy is now trying to do damage, but he doesn't. The T-34 inevitably goes down to the king of the jungle, the Tiger. Artillery coming down here. What we're going to see. Okay, he's just going to run straight away from this. So he's unable to cap back his fuel in the victory point, but they do have this fuel once more. Shock troops now coming out, which is nice to see. I mean, shock troops are difficult difficult units to master. They're easy to learn because you just run them at the opponent and they kill infantry. But they are very expensive. You need to be able to have a unit. So hopefully, I mean, I'd like to see this conscript come in to take the damage for the shock troops. To run in. They easily dodge this grenade. I think it's trying to be a predictive grenade, which is very, very difficult to do when you've got that minute lag. And the Panzer Grenadiers are now outgunned. Then we're going to have to leg it with their... Oh, he does drop one track, which is costly. He's going to be able to pick this up easy enough, and he's also should be able to recruit this mortar so he so choose, as well as taking the victory point. So the victory point's now swinging into, or about to be, a triple cap. But meanwhile, this Tiger sat out in the middle of nowhere, just deciding he wants to try and kill some stuff. And did not realize this Su-85, which is Veteran C2, has been fully repaired up. So we might see a marked vehicle going down, we might see an 18A going down, we might see the Tiger going down, we might see the Tiger pulling some crazy play out. I mean, like I say, he's making it worth his while by taking out these 200 manpower OP points. And he goes down. He's not even taking much damage at all from these rear armor penetration shots from the Su-85, which he's going to be pleased about. But he is... Oh, that one penetrated. That one hurt. Look, another Su-85 blocking up as well. Like I said, I'd like to see marked vehicle. I mean, Thunderhun... No, it doesn't have it. My bad. Doesn't actually have it. And I imagine Thunderhun is now, with these two Su-85s, he's going to chill out with them and try and go for the Su-52 if he can keep him alive. And it looks like he is, because this Tiger is dangerously low. Su-85 now hitting rank 3 of veterancy, which is great. That extra little bit at the end reduces damage taken, makes it so hardy, so difficult to take out, especially with his well micro as it has been so far. Conscripts applying more pressure on this high value unit. You know, 600 manpower for permanent placement. It's worth using 200 munitions to take it out if you have them for one of the arty strikes. But I mean, just shoving this guy right in his face. He's got the rocket launcher, which is great. So he's going to start. He's going to be able to actually destroy it rather than just decrew it, which he will ultimately want. He throws a Molotov on it just to make sure that the infantry on it are taking as much damage as possible. But that guy's going to go down unless he has some backup soon. I don't know what he was doing here. He was doing a good job. He must have thought it was down, it was going to be down, but I mean, he's managed to decrew it, but he walked into the base MG. That's a bit unfortunate, but there we are. We'll make this little mistake sometimes. You underestimate how much range those guys have. So now there's a bit more pressure on him, even though he has got triple infantry. All of these pioneers and now the Panzer Grenadiers are going to start hurting him. Like I say, this is his key point. He wants to get some rockets off on this guy if possible, but it doesn't look like he's firing at anything at all right there. I don't know if he's bugged out slightly, he has to get out. As the majority of his army now moves up towards this northern fuel point, or eastern fuel point, depending on how you rotate your screen. And they're going to leg it home. Hopefully get home. So again, it's nice to see that he does, even though he just lost that OP over here, he's keeping it up, replacing them so he wants the extra munitions. They do have control, or denial should I say rather, of this fuel up top, but unfortunately they haven't got it connected, as a flamed up half-track comes in to put an end to all of those dirty, stinking Russians. My excuse is really dirty, stinking Russians out there. I didn't mean to generalize your entire country. Trouble is with these bundle grenades, they don't always do the best job, so he didn't need to get those shock troops out of there, and he could have backed up the shock troops coming in. He just needed to get the conscripts out, but in the heat of the moment it's forgivable because you think, oh shit, I need to get those guys out. Huge bundle of troops and replacements and things now coming in from the north, so they really want to make sure that this cut-off point doesn't go into the hands of the Soviets and give them access to two fields. Meanwhile, these shock troops braving in the face of way too much fire. As soon as the other shock troop guy retreated and needed to get out of there, this T-34 isn't going to be... Wow, okay. Was there artillery? There wasn't even artillery. Strange decision to retreat there. This conscript's going to run the gauntlet and he's surely not going to make it. Surely not. Go on, Jenkins. Nah, Jenkins, man. Yeah, I told you that. I never had faith. But we do see a Katyushas, which is a very nice addition, especially as you've seen there's a lot of bundled up troops here. Now, it doesn't wipe any squads, doesn't take down many models, but it does damage. And you can see in this little yellow bar now, the little yellow bar is filling up and giving them veterancy. However, there is the reply from this artillery emplacement over here. If it does catch a glancing shot on this Katyusha, it is good night for that guy. So he does not want it to happen. Rightly so, he moves him out of the base. He does get a clip from it. Meanwhile, up top, I don't know what happened to the flamed up half track, whether that went down. I don't think it did. this artillery place now. It's only got 3 kills, but obviously it's been recruited a couple of times, so it has done plenty of damage in the course of its life. And unfortunately this P5 has been rammed by this T-34, so I personally don't use T-34s. I think that they suck if they don't ram. But when you do ram against a high value unit like this, it's instantly instantly disabling a tank like that with a vehicle of your own in his happy days. And he can take his time now. He's in a comfortable position where he can send engineers at any point he wants to go and repair that and recover his T-34 nicely. So these guys now trying to... Oh, another Katyusha's coming down. Again, oh, it does take down the AT gun, and he has taken down that machine gun as well. So even though he ate one Katyusha in the face, he thought he would have repositioned, but he did not. However, there is still Mortar alive and this MG alive, just keeping all these troops unable to flank. Again, he retreated too hastily there. He was only losing members on one squad. He could have kept the other 2 guys out, gone for a flank around the corner, possibly even if it was just to dislodge the MG, or even go for the mortar emplacement over there. Obviously, the Grenadiers would have chased him off eventually. But here we go, I'm going to read my words. Just another P5 out now. Obviously another expensive unit, but the T-34 does go down. However, that wasn't the issue. It was these 2 SU-85s. We're going to see now if he decides to leave this P5, which has been 18-aided, and it's not going to be able to retreat as quickly now. You're going to see if these SU-85 shots are going to start doing enough damage to threaten him or not. But I mean, there's such a presence of infantry here that he's able to easily enough retreat them off. And now these SU-85s are in a bit of danger because they are unprotected from infantry. But a good Katyusha's coming in again. I like his Katyusha play. He's always making sure when it's on cooldown he's using it. That guy didn't sink. No, God, I thought he sunk the tank then. Which would have been funny. Very unfortunate, very funny. But no, I mean the military, the armor presence from these guys is, yeah, very comfortable, and he's going to take down this P5 as well. It's the second P5, the 165 fuel per pop. It's a big loss. I mean, he was kind of bettering off getting 2 or 3 P4s and starting to use some better flanks on these guys than just getting the expensive tanks out, especially when he knew there was a T-34 out and Tier 3 was up. So another huge ball of troops which is just begging for another Katyushas or some form of artillery. He's going to try and reinforce as much as he can off of this half-track. Make this into a ball of death to push in, because there isn't much here to stop it. It's only these engineers capping up, and they're quickly going to have to move away. But this SU-85 is now on the warpath. He's going to try and take out this artillery piece. It's interesting to note the SU-85 accuracy against these things is terrible. He misses so often. It's not the greatest unit to go and just try and snipe it with a couple of shots. It doesn't work out like that. But it is done half health. You can see the health bar down here. Excuse me, that is the health of the crew, not of the actual artillery itself. He backs out now. He's sort of assuming that there's going to be some guys on the way. He hasn't been able to take a couple of shots, which is smart. It's a bet 3. He doesn't want to risk that. We do see now another artillery piece out. So in response to this, Stormless has gotten his howitzer out, and if he can get veterancy on this guy, then he can do counter barrage or accurate. Sorry, he can do accurate barrages, I believe. I'm going to switch over just to confirm that. And show me your artillery. Yeah, so we can do the precision strike against these guys and just drop one shot right there and be quite confident that it's probably going to go down. In reply, if you can get veterancy on those guys, then you can do a counter barrage. So as soon as the Soviet artillery starts firing, you'll start firing right exactly where the artillery is coming from. But again, I'd love to see some sort of Katyushas down here if you can get it off. He's replaced his T-34 and being a nuisance and a pest and using his speed advantage, but he should be getting Panzerfaust pretty soon. There comes the slightly too late Katyushas, because there wasn't a huge amount from the shootout. He does take down the AT gun once again. Unfortunately, he's going to lose his T-34 for the issues, for the trouble that he's caused. Both artilleries firing away. This guy's not firing as a fighting, but he is eating some of these shots. So he could be getting counter barrage. I'm not too sure. He could just be in some barrage. The Pioneers who went to try and build mines, they're going to have to get out of there. He's going to have to cancel that mine once the munitions back as well. This Contra squad is now pinned, and they've lost the fuel anyway, so this cutoff point isn't going to be much use to them, but they're going to need to do something about these guys being so close to their base. This VP now, is going to be capped up. He did try a barrage, but he's placed it a bit too far back, look. What you need to do, you need to wait a little while to see if the guys are going to advance straight onto the AT gun or just try and cap the point and then use the barrage then. But as it stands, it's a waste of 60 munitions, which is quite hefty. But here comes the cavalry, all of his infantry, all of his pissed up Russians are going to come and do something about it. Another nice Katyusha going down, an abandoned half-truck now. He's got more rockets coming in, doing plenty of damage all around. These Katyushas are really starting to do damage. Now he's got 2 of them on the field as well. You can almost have a consistent supply of rockets flying out everywhere. You see 2 Molotovs going off as well as a bundle grenade. So plenty of munitions spent in that brief exchange there, but he's going to force these conscripts out of the battle. And now this AT gun is in trouble of being swarmed and swamped. As the S-85 just has to back out of there. He can't do enough damage against the infantry to warrant him staying. Another magical MG placement there from Sigsieth, which is nice. He knows where he can place MGs to be annoying. Prevent his opponent from coming up and capping. This AT gun is dangerously low now. If he loses one more guy, he's going to go down. One of the vehicles went down. I believe that was probably to some of the artillery that's coming in from these rather annoying left guns. And you can see it's starting to frustrate him a little bit because he started sending this S-85 up unsupported against some infantry. He just wanted to sort of go straight past and go and take care of those assault guns. Not going to happen. There you go. He does go down. He is very close to having 200 munitions now, though, so he could call in his precision bombing strike. I'm just going to swap on over to Sigsieth real quick to have a look at his artillery. There are 6 kills on that by Veteran C2, and on Veteran C2, and this guy with 11 kills. Because he can have the counter barrage on as well, he's going to be able to start taking down the emplacements. I'm not too sure if it actually goes against the Katyushas as well. If someone can confirm that for me in chat, that'd be great. I don't know everything. In fact, compared to some, I know very little. Let's swap back on over now to Thunderhun. So we did see the presence of a big vehicle here. I didn't quite see it. I believe it's probably going to be another P5, if not a Tiger. There is a P5, so it's the 3rd P5 popped out now from tpovis. And again, the first thing he's done is overextended. He's got this Su-83 Vet 3 is trouble for any and all tanks. This guy can go head to head with an elephant and win quite comfortably. But he's coming here looking for these high value targets. So he does one-shot the Katyushas. And now if I were him, I'd go, no, this artillery's gone down probably to the counter barrage and the superior firepower, but I mean, he's just wasted a high value unit, taking out a lower value unit. It wasn't worth it. If you really wanted to pull that off, you could have done it with a P4. You know, the argument could be made you could have done it with the Stug maybe as well. So these shock troops leave a little grenade behind them and do a runner, and didn't do much damage whatsoever. Still hasn't got much or any veterancy on. Oh, he's got 1 veterancy for both of them at the moment. 4 kills on that guy, so hasn't got a great deal. Airstrike coming down now. I believe this is probably going to be another strafing run, just to sort of tie up some infantry, or it could be some broad. No, there comes the strafing run. I believe he's going to try and combine this with the artillery maybe to use some big losses. But I mean, these guys are retreating. They're soft retreating away from just a couple of conscripts. If he, I mean, he just wants to save the half track more than anything. Oh, look at that! 1 shot from the Vet 3 Su-83 and gives them that much health. It was an incredible shot. But this strafing run is looming now, and it is starting to do some damage. He has managed to hit the dirt, so he is capping the point, and he will not be suppressed by this overrun. And he's kind of almost shooting himself. This barrage. But what I was going to say is that it still takes quite a bit of damage from the strafing run. So if this strafing run has 1 more lap, he could actually wait by that squad quite comfortably. Vet 3 now for these conscripts. He's going to go face to face with the infantry, but are instantly pinned by that rather frustrating strafing. He's going to have to rightly back out of this straight away. The AT gun, no, I thought the AT gun went down, but he's being targeted. There he goes. Goes down now to artillery strikes from these left guns, which have been instrumental in giving the Ostia their presence on the map, because they've quite comfortably locked down some of the fuel areas earlier on, and have always put the Soviets on the back foot. The Soviets have rarely been able to get on their side of the islands, if you will. And so those artillery places have been quite safe. I mean, he sort of suffered a couple of flanks early on and some infantry flanks, but now, because these guys are putting so much pressure right outside the base, they are unable to lose the odd troop here or there just to go up and try and deal with it. But there we are. This Su-85 is now getting dangerously low. Obviously not being able to do much against the infantry. Another strike coming down here. Ooh, big. Oh, the Su-85 does go down. Vet 3. That is a big loss, unfortunately, for those guys. So I was not happy about that. He did use one of his call-ins, 200 munitions call-ins for this MG. I don't think that's worth it. There's much higher value targets in the artillery pieces. If you've got some scouting gun on those and place them down there, you would have got definite kills. This T-34 is coming now. He's going to do a bit of microplay around the AT gun. Katyusha's just chasing off any of the remaining troops, but we noticed that Thunderhun's once mighty army is being reduced. Well, the armor side of it has anyway. Losing both of his Su-85s and one of those Katyushas. No, actually, I think he might have lost both Katyushas. Yeah, he just replaced this Katyusha here. However, his infantry is nicely vetted up. So at least he's going to be able to enjoy that going into the mid and late game. Look, brief lull, which is nice. I can breathe. No, I can't, because artillery is landing down onto this Katyushas. I mean, the range of these things are huge, and they do increase with their veterans as well. And a big push onto this top VP, but this MG is going to be able to prevent that briefly until the half track with the flame comes round to deny it even more. But T-34 is going to go up, trying to question the presence of this half track and whether he should have any relevance in the mid to late game when he knows his vehicle's out in the field. Hit the dirt going down now, so these guys are going to stick it out, trying to get this VP and prevent the bleed, because the points are surprisingly close, seeing as the advantage has majority laid in the austere hands in terms of unit losses, etc. You know, it's interesting to see how close the VPs are. So when it gets to around this point, when you can see your bars getting very low, excuse me, it becomes the blinkered vision of, I must control the VPs. I will send units to their death, even if they are veteran C3, if I can just control that VP for a second longer. And it's a very interesting mental corner that people sort of turn. Because they think that every second counts, which it does, which is true. But sacrificing the Vet 3 squad just to hold it for an extra second is never really going to help you, unless you were talking about 1 or 2 VPs. When you're talking that low, then yeah, it's desperation time. But we've seen a nice push now. He's able to actually steal this artillery piece, which is great. So which means that the Austere might have to actually destroy it rather than being able to recruit it. And he's going to get an artillery barrage off onto the other artillery piece, landing right there nicely onto this Vet 3 artillery. So if he manages to take that down, he's going to be pleased with that. Doing a nice amount of damage and able to resist the Panzergrenadier's Shreks because he's got a lot more anti-infantry guns. He goes down. So that's a bit of a loss. These shock troops are now running into the face of an MG, which is not going to be too good. This is now decrewed. So again, there's a chance for it to be stolen. Or no, there it goes. Completely destroyed. 600 manpower gone. This flamer is going to come and he's going to very quickly be able to decrew these guys and push them out. He's probably going to meet an ET neighbors, not an issue because he's so close to his own base. And over this side now we see Panzerwerfer out of position. Oh, that's sad, man. When a concept has got when a weak unit has got a strong anti-vehicle unit like that, it's sad to see something go down to it, and especially something as expensive and fragile as a Panzerwerfer. But hey, man, it happened. It went down. So this is an exciting play. I can't really decide who's really winning this or not. I guess I'm going to take Fog of War off real quick to sort of see where everything is. As we can see, there's a couple of Opel trucks out, which have been out for quite a lot of the game, I believe, as well as a couple of the OPs. The fuel, both the fuel points belong to the hands of the Austere, as well as their adjoining victory points, which means the bleed is going to be back onto the Soviets, and with 104 points now remaining, it's going to be tough economic times. You're going to have to pull up their trousers and buckle up their belt and put another hole in it and really knuckle down to get these victory points back into their favor. How are they going to do that? Well, let's find out. They've actually got these troops up here already doing decapping the top one and the cutoff, whilst this recruit Maxim is facing the wrong way, just trying to protect the fuel. Conscripts are now pushed out, but another, I mean, it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it does clip a couple of units. Katyusha rockets coming in there, so it's nice that he's recognized that there is a group of infantry, which is nice. This MG now, no, he's going to get flanked very easily, going down very, very quickly. So that's sad, but I mean, it's going to happen. Su-85 is going crazy. I don't know where he's going or what he wants to do. I think he might want to try and chase down that half track. It's not worth it. It's too far away from his infantry, and now this ball of infantry has got their eyes on him. Do see he could be assisting with the barrage here if possible, but I mean, it's the very edge of it. And he's got this infantry coming around and try and protect him now as well. So he's going to get out. He's going to survive. And we see that there's now a triple cap going on in process as soon as this point is taken for the Soviets. They're able to turn the bleed onto the Austere, making them panic a little. You know, they're not in the lead by much. So only a couple of minutes is what it takes to actually change the VP's score dramatically. We see another Katyusha coming down onto this half track now. He knew that there's people there trying to repair it, so the engineers will take, the pioneers will take extra damage as they are repairing and not defending themselves. And he doesn't actually take out any units, but he prevents the positioning, he makes them move, he makes them take longer to repair because he does a bit extra bit of damage, and then to move it again to a safe place. So these conscripts are now going to need a grenade and throw a Molotov in return. They're not going to throw a Molotov in return. We do see some smoke going down there, so we're not too sure what we can see here. Okay, so this is the closest close air support then coming out of Thunderhun's partner. It's not great. You know, it is good against infantry and light vehicles, but it doesn't chase units as well as the strafing one does. So these conscripts are gonna have a bad time. He does throw off the Molotov, which is going to do a little bit of damage over time to these Panzer Grenadiers, but not much. Not much at all, unfortunately. But as we can see, the territory has massively gone in the hands now, so they've got this aggressive push into the front of the Austere. Now, the Austere have spent the majority of the game outside the base of the Soviet, but at this late point of the game now, positioning is more key than ever. This T-34 is going to lose a straight-up 1-1 battle, but he does have his bum chum coming in here, another T-34, which is the T-34's best friend. But unfortunately, I mean, this guy's going to go down now. He's got the range advantage. T-34 not unable to pen on the side armor attack. He's going to start eating some more shots and some more rockets. Here the Katyusha's coming down. There comes Katyusha's, but it's not very well placed. A bit too far back. Maybe he was just trying to go for this point here, but there's much juicier targets right here. We see another P5 out of the tpovis. He loves those P5s, which take down the other T-34. But run into the face of an AT gun. Maybe he can do some AT gun positioning because he does have his Su-85 coming in to protect these guys now. So we can start getting some shots off this P5 as well as turning his back in. He's going to be enjoying that. Oh no, wait, he didn't see that. He actually focused on this, I believe it was a P4. So that P4 goes down quite handily, and this Su-85 is plugging away the wrong targets. He needs to turn and focus on this tank here because that's the main where he'll be doing the most damage and preventing the most damage for his team, as well as the MG is handily blocking all these troops, so he's setting up for another Katyusha's if he so wishes. Katyusha's very far forwardly placed. AT gun goes down. The Su-35 is having a little bit of trouble microing and maneuvering his gun into position. He's going to take a shot in a second, hopefully, if he was reversing correctly. He's not, he's turning, he's twirling, he's showing his side armor. He's going to be going down to this P5, but this is the first time the P5 has won straight up Su-85 battle, so he's taking more game, but he's going to lose his Katyusha's for this now as well. However, the triple cap has been long enough. They're now in the lead in terms of points, so this is really getting down to the wire now for these guys. It's time to put up all that they have really in a desperate bid for securing these victory points. As we can see, they're all focusing now around the middle area. This Austere trying to push the Russians out. But this point isn't vital, you know. There's this undefended point, there's this undefended point, and there's this undefended point, all of which could be preventing the VP drain that's going on in them now. I'm going to switch Fog of War back on again now, make it a bit more realistic. I'd love to see another Katyusha here. This has been Sigsieth's issue, I feel. He tends to get a half track but stick too closely to it. It makes him very vulnerable to mortar shots, very vulnerable to artillery. And whilst it has got better than 2, it's got 18 kills, it's done its time, it's been about long enough. The Su-85 is going to put an end to that, and down he goes, and no more reinforcing for him. The Su-85 now realizes, oh shit, I just made a lot of Germans angry, and they got big bad guns with them as well. 50 points now remaining then for the Austere, and we do see finally one of the Panzer Grenadiers going down to cap up one of these VPs. But unfortunately the bleed is still on them, and they're down to 40 points now, so it is getting a bit of finish. These guys are fighting this needless battle. They're trying to take out this Su-85, whilst there's no... I mean, they've got plenty of armor over here, which could have been dealing with the Su-85 or preventing the Su-85, but it's not the key focal point right now. The key focal point is these victory points. Maybe they don't realize how quickly the drain is going down for them, but unless they pull their trousers up pretty soon, they're going to be in trouble. The Su-85 is... trying to be handily repaired by 3 conscripts who, as he does have the ability to do it with his chosen commander, but unfortunately not enough to take the shot of the P4. So he's going to eat a couple of 18-8s, and that rocket from the... wow, there goes down to an 18-8, there look. If he was careful, what he could have done, he could have waited with the 18-8 for this guy with the veterancy 2 and used it on them to actually try and share the veterancy out better. Doesn't matter though, this late in the game now, we see it's almost 20 points remaining. The shock troops are coming up and dealing with these Panzer Grenadiers quite handily. If he gets a nice grenade off, unfortunately he's the recipient of a grenade. It doesn't take too many model damages though. So he's able to come up here now and probably re-secure this victory point. As you can see, he's just sending some troops down there now, probably going to hit the on top of the victory point just to prevent it being capped. P5 once again is the victim of a horrific ram from the T-34, the careless driver there, the T-34 just ruining both tanks, and being a good old party pooper. Shock troops, he can just focus on this Pioneer squad. You'll soon wipe that squad out. As I say, he's not actually focused on fighting, he's put his back to you, he's trying to repair a vehicle. There you go, I think he just into there, look, instantly melts over those guys. So now this guy's going to go down a lot quicker now he hasn't got anyone trying to repair him. These conscripts are desperately trying to repair the T-34s to try and get him mobile again and get him out, but now with the fire of another P5 on top of him, don't know what's going to happen, but there's only 6 points remaining, and there is a triple cap. This game is going to end, and it is going to be in the favour of the Russians, so congratulations to Thunderhun and your partner Stormless. You guys played exceptionally well. You've played through the adversity of that early pin in your base, and you have taken a win home for the motherland. Congratulations guys, well played, and commiserations to our other guys whose names I forget. tpovis2001, the Panther 5 lover. I don't think he built any other vehicle but that guy. I understand what he's getting at. I mean, because the P4 does kind of lose in a head-to-head battle with an Su-85, and it's difficult. It's not as it is difficult to flank anyway, but that's something that takes practice. I mean, all that fuel you wasted into those high-end vehicles, which are immediately rammed by T-34s, you could have been getting more Panzer 4s for himself to enable all those flanks to come around and really come into fruition. But unfortunately, especially when you got T-34 out in the field and it just knocks out your tank immediately, but when you got things like Tigers and Elephants, if they're unable to damage the engine or shock that charging bull, then it's rendered immediately not useless, but kind of useless, you know. Useless enough if you haven't got the support there to repair it anyway. But there we are, guys. That was my first Tuesday 2v2 cast for you. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, any comments, if you like my hat, if you don't like my vest, just let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Take care of yourselves.